Welcome. Today, we're going to break down the single most critical topic for any cathodic protection technician, and that is field safety. Look, this isn't just some boring refresher. This is your guide to the procedures and, maybe more importantly, the mindset that makes sure you not only get the job done right, but you get home safe every single day.
So let's start with the foundational rule, the one that governs everything else we do. This statement right here, it's not a suggestion. It's your right and it's your responsibility. Your company gives you the training, they give you the equipment, but when you're on site, you are the final authority on your own safety. If a situation feels wrong, you have the full authority to stop work, period.
So here's our game plan for today. First, we'll start with the essential framework for every single job. Then we're going to dive into these specific hazards you'll face, everything from electricity to the environment. We'll also talk about the one hazard you bring with you to the site. And finally, we'll see how all this knowledge applies in a real-world scenario.
Okay, let's get into it. Every single task, I don't care how routine it feels, has to begin with a plan. And in our field, that plan is the Job Safety Analysis, or JSA. You got to think of it as your first and most important line of defense against any kind of accident. Now, please, don't think of the JSA as just another form you have to fill out to check a box. It's an active, systematic process. Before any work starts, you use the JSA to actually stop and think, to identify potential hazards, to assess the risks, and to define the specific steps you're going to take to handle them. And this flowchart here, it illustrates the workflow perfectly. You start with hazard identification. Then you ask a simple question. Is the risk acceptable? If the answer is no, you assess how bad it could be, and you put preventative measures in place. Then you ask the question again. Only when that risk is down to an acceptable level do you actually start the project. And remember, if anything changes halfway through the job, you stop and you repeat the process. All right, now let's talk about one of the most pervasive and honestly one of the most misunderstood risks in cathodic protection, electrical hazards. Getting complacent in this area is just not an option. It can be fatal. You know, a lot of CP systems run on very low voltages, and that can give you a false sense of security. But dangerous AC voltages are often right there, especially when you're working near power lines or directly on rectifiers. We have to respect all levels of electricity. It starts so small, at just 1 milliamp. That's 1/1000th of an amp. The human body can start to feel a slight tingling sensation. That's it. That's the threshold of perception. Now let's bump that up just a tiny bit to a range of 6 to 25 milliamps. Suddenly, that shock becomes painful. And here's the really crucial part. This range is higher than what we call the let-go current. That means your muscles contract so tightly, so involuntarily, that you might not be able to physically let go of whatever it is that's shocking you. At 100 milliamps, we hit a lethal level. An amount of current that's small passing through your chest can cause what's called ventricular fibrillation. It's a rapid, chaotic quivering of the heart muscle. The heart just stops pumping blood, and death can happen in minutes. So, how does this actually apply in the real world? Well, it's all governed by Ohm's law. Current equals voltage divided by resistance. Let's use a really practical example. The average human body has a resistance of about 1,000 ohms. So, if you touch a standard 120-volt AC source, well, 120 volts divided by 1,000 ohms gives you 120 milliamps of current. That is well within the fatal range we just talked about. That's why even standard voltage is so incredibly dangerous. This brings us to the single most effective procedure for preventing electrical accidents: lockout, tagout, or LOTO. Think of it like a seatbelt. Yeah, at first it might feel like a hassle, but it quickly becomes a non-negotiable habit that can and absolutely does save lives. It guarantees a circuit cannot be turned back on while you're working on it. And the rules of LOTO are absolute. First, the person who puts the lock and tag on is the only person who can take it off. No exceptions. Second, if you have a whole team working on the same piece of equipment, a group lockout device is mandatory. And third, your tag has to clearly state who you are, how to get a hold of you, and why that equipment is locked out. Now, what's really great here is that this slide shows that group scissor lock in action. Each technician puts their own personal lock on the device. What that means is the main switch physically cannot be flipped back on until every single worker has finished their job and taken off their own lock. It's a simple and totally foolproof system. All right, we've covered the electrical risks pretty thoroughly,
but the field itself is full of other potential dangers. So let's shift our focus to the environmental and chemical hazards you're likely to run into. And the list is pretty extensive. We've got to be aware of explosive atmospheres, especially when we're around hydrocarbon pipelines. Induced AC from overhead power lines can energize a structure you thought was completely safe. Excavations, well, they carry the risk of collapse. And we're regularly working with hazardous materials, not to mention the dangerous gases that the CP process itself can create. Okay, let's break this down because it's really crucial. Our CP systems generate gases as byproducts. Over at the anode, you can get oxygen, sure, but you can also get toxic chlorine or carbon dioxide that can suffocate you, especially in deep ground beds. Meanwhile, at the cathode, you're getting hydrogen gas, and hydrogen is extremely flammable and highly explosive in an enclosed space. This is exactly why proper ventilation isn't optional. It's absolutely essential. So we've covered all the external hazards on the job site, but one of the biggest risks we face is one we actually bring with us every single day. Driving is a huge part of a CP technician's job, and you know what? Distracted driving is a silent killer. Now, distraction isn't just about texting while you drive. It's actually broken down into 3 types. You've got visual, which is taking your eyes off the road. You've got manual, taking your hands off the wheel, but the most dangerous, the most sneaky one is cognitive, taking your mind off the task of driving. You may have seen the invisible gorilla experiment. People are asked to count how many times a basketball was passed, and they focus so hard on that, they completely miss a person in a gorilla suit who walks right through the middle of the scene. It's a brilliant illustration that seeing is a function of your brain, not just your eyes. If your brain is tied up in a phone conversation, you can be looking right at a hazard and just not see it at all. So here's the crucial takeaway. Research shows that a driver on a hands-free call has a reaction time that is just as impaired as a drunk driver at the legal limit. Just let that sink in. Your hands are on the wheel, your eyes are on the road, but your brain is somewhere else. So the question you have to ask yourself is, what critical hazard are you failing to see? Okay, we've covered the principles, the hazards, the human factors, but knowledge is only powerful if you actually apply it. So let's put your understanding to the test with a real-world scenario. I want you to take a hard look at this photograph. Think of it as your final exam for today. Using everything we've just discussed, from excavation rules to just general situational awareness, your task is to identify every single safety violation you can spot. Is the excavation properly shored? Is there a safe way in and out? Where's the spoil pile located? Go ahead and pause this explainer right now and really analyze this. Look, ultimately, safety isn't just a chapter in a manual or some list of rules you have to memorize. It is a constant, active mindset that you have to bring to every single job site. Your most valuable tool isn't your multimeter. It's your knowledge and your commitment to using it. Because at the end of the day, your most important job is and always will be making it home safe.